Hey everyone, I'm Rudy Oliva, and you're watching Smoking the Barbecue. Today we're going to be doing a chuck roast on my offset smoker. Chuck roast is a great alternative to brisket for a few reasons. The main reason is price. You go to the grocery store and buy brisket, you're looking at anywhere from $70 to over $100 for a full-size brisket. I picked this chuck roast up for 25 bucks, and it's 3 pounds. Another thing that I like about chuck roast is the size. I usually don't cook for a lot of people, so this tends to be the perfect size for the amount of people that I'm feeding. Also, because of the fact that this is smaller, it's going to take a lot less time to cook, but it's still going to have great flavor, and it's still going to give me great barbecue. So before we season that chuck roast, let's go split some wood and get that fire going. Using hickory splits, and I also got a little bit of oak mix in here as well that I'm going to throw in there. As far as trimming goes here, there's really not a whole lot to do. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these little pieces that are hanging off. And I also want to get rid of the silver skin that's here on the side. This little piece hanging off here on this corner, we're going to get rid of that. And that should do it. For my seasoning, as usual, I'm just going to be using coarse kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. Get a nice layer of salt on there. Heavy on the pepper. Flip it over. Same thing on the other side. And let's get the sides. That's all there is to it as far as seasoning goes. Now we're just gonna wait for that smoker to come up to temp and we'll throw it on. We got some clean smoke coming out of the stack and temperature is right at 225. So I'd say we're ready to go ahead and throw this on. Okay guys, so we got our chuck roast on there. Now for the first 2 hours, I'm not gonna open this cook chamber at all. The only thing that I'm gonna do is just manage my fire and make sure that I have clean smoke going through and that my temperature stays right at 225. After the first 2 hours, then every hour, I'll start opening the lid and spraying it with a mixture of half apple cider vinegar and half water. So we're 2.5 hours into this cook, and in all honesty, today has been a nightmare. I've been fighting the fire like crazy. I've had to open the lid to have the smoke run through there and start burning clean again. I'm nowhere near even ready to start spraying this yet, just because of the fact that it's been such a difficult cook. I think the big factor today has been this weather. The weather's been changing literally every few minutes. It's been raining on and off, it's been hot, but then it gets cloudy and it gets cool and windy. All that has definitely been affecting the quality of the fire, and I think that's what's made it so difficult. So I still think we're doing okay. The fire's kind of been steady now, and we'll see how everything turns out. I had to open the lid again because the fire was kind of starting to go out, and I had to add some logs, so now I gotta wait for this to clear up. But in the meantime, since I already got it open, we're at about 3 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying. Got my mixture of water and apple cider vinegar. It's half and half. soon as this fire starts burning clean again, I'll go ahead and close the lid. Okay guys, so we are 4 hours into the cook. Let's go ahead and open the lid, see how it's looking, and give it another spray. So what I did to combat this issue that I've been having all day with the fire, basically, usually when I run this, I run it with the door cracked right about here and with the vents wide open. However, today, for whatever reason, again, I think it's the weather, I've been having a really hard time, so I just said screw it, and I'm just running it with this wide open and letting as much oxygen get through there as possible. And so far, it's been working. We're at about 5 hours now of cook time, so I want to go ahead and check the temperature and see if we're ready to wrap yet. All right, looking good. So our internal temperature is at 148. So I'm going to wait about another 30 minutes. I want to get it to about 155 before I wrap it. So we're going to go ahead and close the lid and wait just a little bit longer. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and pull this off and wrap it in foil. Okay, for the wrap, we've got 2 layers of foil. Go ahead and wrap it up. That ought to do it. Let's go ahead and throw it back on. So now that it's wrapped and back in the smoker, I'm going to bump the temperature up to about 250, and I don't have to worry about the smoke being clean anymore at this point because it's wrapped. It's not going to pick up any more smoke flavor. So now we're going to leave it in there until we get an internal temperature of just over 200. So finally, after 7.5 very long hours, we finally reached an internal temperature of 204. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off and put it into the cooler and let it rest. Now normally I would give it about 2 hours rest time minimum, but it's late. I wasn't expecting it to take this long. So I'm going to put it in the cooler and maybe let it rest for about an hour before I go ahead and open it up. So I did end up leaving it for the 2-hour rest time. I wanted it to come out as good as possible, so I just went ahead and left it and figured I'll just try it a little bit later. So let's go ahead and open it up and see how we did. I'm especially happy with this, mainly because of just everything that I went through today, fighting that fire and just how hard it was and how long it took. So the fact that it came out this good, I'm really, really happy with it. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.